AITA for my response after my BIL said my dress was inappropriate for a family gathering? Hear me out. So my BIL, my husband's brother, was married to a woman from Greece. Her name is Nana. And the reason for their divorce was because of how much my conservative BIL tried to control her clothes and the places she went. He didn't want the divorce and was hoping Nana would accept the life he offered and stay, but she didn't. This happened 2 years ago. He now moved back with my in-laws and we'd see him more often. He tried to comment on how I dress on multiple occasions and it's unbearable. But since my in-laws said he's struggling and depressed, then I let it go. On Friday my in-laws celebrated my husband's 30th birthday at their home. I wore a heart-shaped blue dress and had my hair up. While we were eating, my BIL pointed at me and said that my cleavage was showing and that I shouldn't have wore this dress because it looked inappropriate for a family gathering. I was utterly shocked. Everyone was staring at me and I felt so embarrassed and on the spot. He looked at me waiting for me to blow up probably, but I laughed and told him, "Knock. Knock." He said, "Who's there?" Quote. I said, "Nana." Now he paused and seemed confused at the mention of this name. He then faked a laugh and said, "Nana who?" I said, "Nana your goddamn business what I'm wearing." Okay. Quote. He got upset and quickly left the table. My sils laughed, but my husband and his parents were upset and later said that I was way out of line for bringing up Nana to my BIL, knowing how heartbroken and depressed he is because of her. His mom said that I was petty and didn't need to dig at him just to prove a point. My husband thinks I'm in the wrong as well and that I was being deliberately hurtful by bringing up Nana. I'll bet the reason your sisters-in-law laughed is because they have been likewise been blessed with his advice. NTA. I sincerely doubt he's heartbroken and depressed. I suspect his ego is wounded because his ex resisted his attempts at control. What he said to you was entirely inappropriate. It's also entirely inappropriate that his family continues to enable his behavior. NTA. You should put the heat on your husband and ask him, "Why do you think I should accept your brother disrespecting me? Do you think it is acceptable for him to speak to me like that?" Quote. If your husband is willing to just sit by and let his brother act like a pig because it doesn't affect him, he isn't being a good partner. NTA. Depressed? Heartbroken? Yeah, no, he's sulking because Nana refused to be controlled and manipulated a second longer and is not using you as a target outlet. Don't apologize, but feel free to have a long talk with your husband about how you're not taking BIL's shit anymore, so he should probably do what he should have done the first goddamn time and put his brother in his place. NTA. Your BIL literally blew up his own marriage and drove his wife away with his inability to keep his inappropriate, thoughtlessly rude, controlling, misogynistic comments to himself. And the man still hasn't learned his lesson? But you have a bigger problem. Because instead of expecting him to take responsibility for his behavior and learn from the consequences of his own action, his own family, your husband included, are acting as though the end of your BIL's marriage happened in a vacuum, as though his actions had nothing to do with anything. And his continued aggressively inappropriate behavior, now directed at you, is something to be coddled and sympathized with, instead of called out. They're actually scolding you for the same rotten behavior he has displayed continuously for years. They're never going to be on your side. Not your husband. Not any of them. It's not just that he's not going to get any better. It's that you're going to be treated just as badly as she was. And they're just fine with that. You may want to think hard about that. NTA. WTF? He drove his wife away by trying to police her clothes. And he has the sheer nerve to bring that subject up with you? You did need to dig in to show him that his ex-wife was not an aberration. Any woman would find it abhorrent to have a man dictate what she can or cannot wear. My husband thinks I'm in the wrong as well and that I was being deliberately hurtful by bringing up. Nana. Husband is partially right. You were being deliberately hurtful. And you did it brilliantly. NTA. I'd be proud of that burn. NTA. That's the kind of response I would only ever think of 4 hours after the initial interaction. You are amazing. NTA. Dude is a controlling asshole. He tried to control his wife and she, rightfully, left. Now he's trying to control how his sil dresses? Nope. He is 110% wrong. The sooner he realizes that he has no power to police what anyone wears, the happier he'll be. If it takes reminding him of his wife who left him to get him to the realization, well, that's just what it's going to take. NTA. The dig was deserved. He needs to keep his clothing control fetish to himself. And your husband is the awe for supporting a controlling awe. NTA. I love that. That was clever and put him in his place without blowing up on him. Anyone saying you were being rude should know he started it. He's an asshole. Kinda your husband and his family too. They should take a stand for you and tell Bill to shut up if they don't want you doing it yourself. Also, he sounds like such a creep. Looking at your cleavage like a perv. NTA. And I think it was hilarious. How long had you been holding that one in? Lol. NTA. Amazing response. It was either say that or look at your husband and go, "Hey hun. Can you tell your brother to stop staring at your wife's tits?" Quote. Also, your husband is absolute trash for siding with his brother. NTA. Could you have been nicer and held his hand about it? Sure. Would that have changed anything for a controlling guy who thinks he can impose his views on a woman he has zero actual sway over? In my experience, no. Your husband needs to understand that there are no realities in which your Bill continues to make these comments about your cloths. There is only a reality in which he himself collects Bill. Or you do. NTA. OMG. I love you. That was brilliant. My hat's off to you. Your husband needs to understand that his brother lost his wife for his controlling ways and has no reason to even think about telling you how to dress. I would be petty and remind your husband that if you want to support his brother, he also can go live with their parents while you take a page out of Nana's book. NTA. LMFO. I love you're on the spot thinking, rolling on the floor laughing. NTA. And back we are in a place where a man thinks he can tell a woman how to dress. It's 2022. I agree some things might not be appropriate. Like clothes from a sex store at a funeral. SRY don't have a better example. But I don't understand why your cleavage is not appropriate. Maybe you showing him forces him to look there. Not only are you NTA, but you are a GD legend. I wish I could think up stuff on the fly like that. NTA, but your husband should have backed you up. NTA. Maybe your husband and Bill can move back in with their parents and cater to your entitled BIL's delicate sensibilities for years to come. You shouldn't have to walk on eggshells because your Bill has the hots for you. This type of the behavior is like the reason Nana left him to begin with. If your husband won't demand that his family treat you with respect, then maybe you should find a better husband.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.